Welcome back everyone, it's Charlie. This is going to be my new Spider-Man No Way Home Sinister 6 video, all about the versions of the Sinister 6 characters that we see during the trailer. And now with the addition of all these multiverse villains from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, we actually have more than 7 members of the Sinister 6 from various versions of the team. Even Tom Holland said, "You have no idea, it gets so much crazier than what you've already seen in the trailer footage." So we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. There's a bunch of really big Spider-Man stuff coming up in the next couple of months. And thankfully, it actually seems like Venom Let There Be Carnage is not going to be delayed now. There'll be a lot of Spider-Man stuff happening during that, but in a slightly different way. So I'll talk about that during my Venom videos because it's not really relevant for what's happening with the Sinister Six in Spider-Man No Way Home. But during the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, as we all saw the past couple of days, watching it billions and billions of times, the trailer actually got more views than the Avengers Endgame trailer did. It just broke Avengers Endgame's record. But during the trailer, you can easily spot at least 5 of the Sinister Six villains pretty obviously. And when I said there were more than 7 members of the Sinister Six team, various versions of the team, that's because of the other Sinister Six villains from previous MCU Spider-Man movies like Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. But the idea is now that between the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, and the MCU Spider-Man movies, we now have enough characters for a relatively comic book accurate version of the Sinister Six. Here's the roster just going down the list, and I'll talk about the scenes from the trailer that feature them just in case you missed them, because some of them are a little more obvious than others. Starting with the most obvious ones, Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus. So the Green Goblin scene is this pumpkin bomb getting ready to explode on the bridge during Spider-Man's big fight with Dr. Octopus. The Green Goblin laugh, the cackle, is Willem Dafoe's voice. I know there are a lot of theories about it potentially being somebody else. I believe it's meant to be Willem Dafoe. It's his exact same cackle from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies and the exact same pumpkin bomb technology that he used during the first Spider-Man movie. And those bombs don't just explode, they can do a number of different things. They can also destroy organic matter, but it seems like here they're just using them as straight-up bombs. And I should have also prefaced this by saying that yes, I do think that a lot of the trailer footage is cut in this to be misleading. They cut it out of order so that the way things unfold, the plot here, isn't exactly the way the plot of the movie plays out. But the way they cut this fight scene on the bridge, they make it seem like the Goblin Bomb is happening in the same scene with the Dr. Octopus fight, like the Sinister Six villains have started to work together in a loose team-up at this point in the film, whenever this is happening. And just like the Green Goblin bombs being the exact same as the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man version, Dr. Octopus's arms are the exact same arms from Spider-Man 2. There are a lot of you that are also asking about the red lights on the arms, because during Spider-Man 2, the idea was that when the arms were controlling him, the lights in the center of the arms were red, and when Dr. Octopus was in control of himself, the lights in the center were white. A lot of people were just wondering after the trailer came out if Dr. Octopus in the movie here in Spider-Man No Way Home is not in control of himself.
He's right. Listen. Listen to me now.
Because at the end of Spider-Man 2, he had regained control of his own mind from the arms, sacrificing himself and dying in the process, drowning in the river. It's true we never saw the body hit the riverbed, but the whole idea was that he wasn't going to die a monster, as he said. He would die a good man. So when he shows up in the trailer with the red lights, a lot of fans took that to mean that Marvel had not retconned his story arc in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, and we're thinking that maybe he's a villain now because it's not really him doing this, it's the arms that are in control, or messing with his mind somehow. It's totally possible, it's a valid theory right now, just because we don't have that much footage, so just something to consider. The whole thing with him knowing that Tom Holland's Peter Parker is Spider-Man, I think is just a trick of the way they edited the trailer. I think these scenes from him suiting up in the Iron Spider suit and Dr. Octopus saying, "Hello, Peter," are happening out of order. I think the Green Goblin Dr. Octopus attack happens, then he suits up in the Iron Spider suit to fight, then Dr. Octopus shows up seeing Spider-Man, and because he learned Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was Peter Parker at the end of Spider-Man 2, and he sees a Spider-Person here facing him, he probably just assumes that it's Peter Parker under the mask, like, oh, Spider-Person, it must be Peter. Usually when it comes to stuff like this, the simplest explanation is the most correct one. So that's 2 big members of the Sinister Six. People are saying that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is supposed to be the one to lead this MCU multiverse version of the team. In the comics, it was actually Dr. Octopus who put the first version of the team together. Maybe they'll have a reference to that during the movie where both of them are arguing about who's in charge. Green Goblin worked with the Sinister Six, but he wasn't part of the team till way later with a different roster. The next big core member of that original team, Jamie Foxx's Electro from the Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man movies. As most of you have seen, his energy is a little more comic book accurate, being yellow this time, so they have made a few minor changes in the name of being more comic book accurate. Supposedly these screenshots are of the Sinister Six villains in the movie, so there are some minor costume changes. Famously, Kevin Feige had a whole bunch of notes when Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out about the Electro character. Like, there were just some things about his character that he wasn't a huge fan of. So it sounds like they're using this movie as an opportunity to correct some of those things. The other original Sinister Six villain that you probably spotted here from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3 movie is Sandman. When he's wearing the black and gold costume getting blasted by Electro, you see the earth rise up super huge and seem like it's forming into a monster-sized face. Most people believe that this is evidence of Sandman in the film. For those of you that are also asking about this red light here, some people are wondering if this is another Spider-Man like Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire. The red light, I believe, is actually just from one of the towers that Electro destroys, so it's not meant to be a second Spider-Man in this scene. The next big Sinister Six villain that we supposedly spot in the trailer is the Lizard. Since the trailers come out, so many people have been all over Instagram, all over different social media platforms, trying to color correct and relight this scene in the Sanctum with the hand swiping Peter, and it does kind of seem like the Lizard. Also separately, as some of you have spotted, it does seem like inside the feast shelter here, where Spider-Man seems like he's chasing one of the villains, he rips his mask off. Zoom and enhance, you can see what seems like claw marks across his chest, as if the Lizard has torn through his suit. Then even though we don't actually see them fighting Spider-Man in the trailer, we still have Mysterio himself. There have been lots of theories about him faking his death, the Quentin Beck Mysterio, but even if he is dead, William Ginter Riva stole all his Mysterio technology, so he could become a new Mysterio. Either way, you still have Mysterio, who was one of the original Sinister Six members. Then there's Michael Keaton's Vulture character, who's already shown up in the Morbius movie, along with the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suit. Michael Keaton made it sound last year like he was coming back during Spider-Man No Way Home, but no idea if it's just a small part, a cameo, or something larger. Vulture was also part of that original Sinister Six team. Then we also still have Michael Mando's Scorpion and the second version of the Shocker, both from Spider-Man Homecoming. Michael Mando made it sound like he was coming back at some point. And even though we do know Sony is doing a Kraven the Hunter movie now on their own, not part of the MCU, Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing Kraven, so make all the Quicksilver multiverse jokes. But as far as I know, Kraven the Hunter is not a character in Spider-Man No Way Home. But the point being, Marvel does have enough characters for a very comic book accurate version of the original team inside the MCU, using the multiverse in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. And most of them are pulled into the main MCU universe as a side effect of Peter and Doctor Strange's spell, and what's happening with this mystery box. What's in the box? Everybody post all the memes. The box seems like it's a huge plot point the way they treat it in the trailer with the spell, as Doctor Strange is weaving the spell and explains that in order to make the world forget that he's Peter Parker, one more day style, they're going to combine aspects of alternate timelines where the world didn't learn his secret identity, but Peter starts flipping out mid-spell and seems like it messes with things just a little bit. Here's the thing with Doctor Strange's box though, you notice that while the spell is happening and they're manipulating alternate realities, alternate timelines, when Doctor Strange finishes the spell and seemingly takes them out of this nexus point here, like this place in the basement of the Sanctum becomes a multiverse way station for a second, he's left with this little ball of woven energy, and then it seems like it represents the timeline changes, and I believe the idea is that he puts that energy into the box. The box itself, as you'll notice, has the same symbol of Agamotto on it that's on the amulet, and the same symbol in the window of the Sanctum. So I believe it's part of the enchantment meant to protect our reality. Like the enchantments in all the Sanctums cover the Earth in a protective barrier to prevent the multiverse villains like Dormammu or Shumagorath from breaking into the main MCU reality. And because the Lizard seemingly is attacking Spider-Man here while this is all going on in the basement of the Sanctum, while they're messing with alternate universes, a lot of people are thinking that the box is somehow this multiverse jail, so to speak, for the Sinister Six characters, like he's trapped them within the box. Then we see Spider-Man trying to pull a fast one on Doctor Strange, them getting into it over the box, trying to open it like Spider-Man's hand is stuck in the box while Doctor Strange is trying to separate him into his astral form like hard pass, time out, Peter Parker. And it might wind up being Spider-Man who inadvertently unleashes the Sinister Six characters for real, thinking that if he releases the energy from this spell, it'll fix everything that he thinks is broken. Like he changes his mind about the spell. No, wait, I want my friends to remember. I want MJ to remember who I am. I want everybody to remember that I became an Avenger, because erasing knowledge of his identity would also erase him from the minds of the other Avengers characters. So maybe he thinks that releasing the energy here that Doctor Strange put in the box will fix everything, but secretly, as you would expect, local man ruins everything. It only makes things worse. Releasing the Sinister Six multiverse characters on this world. And now the title No Way Home makes a little more sense applying to both Spider-Man and the Sinister Six character storylines. Because it seems like Spider-Man has no way home to the original timeline where he was in the relationship with MJ, where he became an Avenger. Like, that's the home that he's trying to get back to. And for the Sinister Six characters, the multiverse ones, there's no way home, theoretically, to their original universes, because if they were to truly fix everything, make it go back to the way it was, they go back to being dead, because all these ones died fighting their versions of Spider-Man. So you have to imagine Green Goblin sort of pitching them on the idea of a Sinister Six team-up, like, do you want to go back to being dead? Well, not really. In talking about the future of the MCU, think about it this way. Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness is supposed to happen directly after Spider-Man No Way Home, and it's implied that the multiverse will get even crazier during that, like as bad as it seems like it is during Spider-Man No Way Home, even worse during Doctor Strange 2. As the title implies, that also means that they probably do not fix all the multiverse derps before the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. Meaning some of these Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield characters are here to stay in the MCU for good, or at least until they get killed off. Like I said, there are more than the original 6 members of the team in this movie. There's so many characters. That means that they will probably wind up killing at least 1 or 2 people in the movie. And when you think about the future of the Sinister Six as a franchise by itself, like spin-off movies for Sinister Six characters, remember, back during the Andrew Garfield era of Spider-Man, Sony wanted to make a Sinister Six movie, and that was not going to be Amazing Spider-Man 3. They were going to do Amazing Spider-Man 3, but also a spin-off Sinister Six film. So it sounds like Sony wants to get to the point where they can do that new franchise again, like create new Sinister Six movies, but have them be completely different from the linear Spider-Man sequels. In Spider-Man No Way Home, it's just kind of setting the stage for that, making that possible, using the multiverse trope. Thank you very much, Sylvie. Thank you very much, Kang the Conqueror. I'm sure there's still 1,000 questions about everything that's going on during the movie. As Tom Holland said, this is just the beginning, like it gets so much crazier than this. So we have barely seen any of the movie, even though it seems like we know a lot about what's going on. And for those of you that are asking Doctor Strange questions, there are all kinds of rumors about X-Men Fox characters showing up during Doctor Strange 2. I'll probably do a separate video about that at some point when we get some more evidence and some more information about what's actually happening. Next week's Marvel What If episode 4 is also the Doctor Strange episode where we learn about Dark Doctor Strange. So make sure you have alerts enabled for my channel so you don't miss any of those videos. Congratulations, The Art of Cass. You're the giveaway winner from my last big Marvel video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your contact details. Everyone click here for my full Spider-Man No Way Home trailer video, and click here for my brand new Marvel Eternals trailer video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.